Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we are talking about the absolute best device that you can buy to clean your eyeglasses or sunglasses, and that is an ultrasonic cleaner. Now, there's a lot of information online about how to use these, and a lot of people are scared to use these, thinking that it's going to destroy their sunglasses. So in today's video, we're going to talk about all the pros and the cons of an ultrasonic cleaner, and I'm also going to show you what I specifically do to protect my sunglasses. All right, so the first step here is to fill it up with water. I prefer distilled water, that way there isn't any hard minerals or anything like that in the water. But if you have to use tap water, it's going to be fine as well. It just could leave a little bit, of hard minerals if you don't remove all the liquid off the frames as soon as you're done with them. So again, that's why I prefer distilled water, but you don't have to use it. Once you have water in there, all you do is you take your dirty frames, and here we can see the lenses are all dirty and the frames are dirty as well. And it's not really just dirty, just age is kind of dusty because these frames are like 20 or 30 years old, and they're actually new old stock. It's just they're very old, so they have a little bit of, age to them, but this is still a beautiful pair of frames that I think is worth saving. They're made by Randolph in USA. So let's go ahead and just pop these in this little ultrasonic cleaner here. All you're gonna do is hold this button down for a couple seconds, and then we're going to select the number 1 option here, and then give that a couple seconds, and it's gonna start. It's gonna make this really annoying sound, but that is the ultrasonic sound waves at work. This process will run about 2 minutes, and I'll catch you guys on the other side of that. All right, so it's been 2 minutes now, and actually while this is working, you can actually see kind of dirt and dust kind of vibrate itself off the frames. So let's pull them out, and here of course we can see they're completely soaked. So what I do recommend doing is drying them off of a microfiber cleaning cloth, and just not necessarily cleaning them, but just kind of sucking up all the liquid to make sure it's nice and dry, kind of like tap dry it. When you're drying the frames, make sure you're not swirling on the lenses. That's how you get really bad scratches. So again, just kind of pat to dry, tap it to dry, and then after just a few seconds, the frames are going to be mostly dry, of course. Then what I recommend doing is leaving these out in the sun, or leaving them out somewhere where it's bright and kind of warm, and leaving them there for probably about 30 minutes, just so you can kind of burn off any liquid that could get in the temples, or you don't want to build up any corrosion underneath the ear rest. And here we can see these frames are absolutely gorgeous, and they look almost good as new. These lenses look absolutely amazing, and probably what looks best are these absolutely beautiful amber ear rests. Before they were totally kind of dull and didn't look really that good, but now they look absolutely gorgeous, and they really pop and shine and look really nice. And again, this is just with water. I didn't add any solvents or anything like that. If you have extremely dirty sunglasses or eyeglasses, you might want to think about picking up a concentrate. This is going to kind of attack the dirt and the grime a little bit more than just your standard water with the ultrasonic noise. But you definitely don't need them, especially if your frames aren't that dirty. But I'm very impressed with how this makes sunglasses and eyeglasses turn out. It makes them really look almost like brand new, super clean, and super cool. And this device is going to run you around $30, and I'm going to leave a link in the description down below directly to Amazon, where you can buy the exact pair that I did, that I recommend buying. Now, this device is safe on acetate, it's safe with metal, it's safe on plastic lenses, and it's also safe on polymer lenses as well. The only thing I personally would be a little bit careful about is some specific older pairs of polarized lenses. For those of you who don't know, polarized lenses actually have a polarizing filter in the middle of them, especially with these glass lenses. So right here I have a Randolph polarized lens, and it actually is 2 pieces of glass kind of like pushed together, and in between is a polarizing filter. And that actually goes the same with this pair of Maui Jim, a polarized lens. But this Maui Jim pair is actually a polymer lens, so you really don't have to worry about it as much because they kind of cap it a little bit better. But if you do have an old polarized lens, it is possible that the seal it doesn't work quite as good as it used to. The water can come in between the 2 different layers of glass, and then it's basically impossible to get that water out, and the lenses are going to have kind of a really weird effect to them. Usually it doesn't affect the vision, but definitely really looks weird. It is not ideal. To be extra safe, you can definitely remove the lenses first and then put the actual frames in the UV cleaner, and then just hand clean the lenses if you're really worried about it. But I haven't personally had any issue with it whatsoever. But again, on older pairs and cheaper pairs, you might want to keep that in mind. Now, another thing to keep in mind here is when you put these frames in the ultrasonic cleaner, never put them lens down, because it is going to slightly vibrate with all those ultrasonic sounds, and that can potentially scratch the lenses on the bottom, so you're going to want to avoid that. So definitely put them in like this. And I actually personally prefer to use a guard like this, where you actually put this at the very bottom and then it holds the frames away from the metal as the ultrasonic cleaner does its job. This works really good. And again, this comes in the kit that I link in the description down below, and that'll kind of help the frames not get scratched. Not that they're going to scratch anyways, it's just, you know, an extra little bit of peace of mind. Now, the last thing I do want to mention here, soaking anything in water is not necessarily good for it. Ideally, we don't get things extremely wet because there can be some downsides like corrosion if they're not properly dried off. And again, we just kind of want to avoid water when it comes to our eyewear for the most part. So potentially it can damage them. Again, I personally haven't had any issues, but don't sue me if your pair of frames gets damaged when using an ultrasonic cleaner. This video is for entertainment purposes only. So yeah, don't hold me liable for any damage that it's caused. But again, this is just my personal experience that I want to share with you about how I use these and how they make a huge difference for my eyewear. Now, if you have any questions about these, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I would do my absolute best to reply to all the comments that I get. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.